Well, hello and welcome back. If you have been following this whole series of the binding of Big Bertha, and you are come for part 4 of the 5 parts of this video series, thank you for hanging in there. I know it's not the most exciting from each video, but from stip to stern, the final product is pretty exciting, and I'm just glad to have you along for the ride. She was a big one, and she was a challenge to bind her, but I was really happy with how she ended up turning out. And apparently so was Art Journaling magazine, because I had the pleasure of being part of their fall edition for 2022, and in the final flip through of Big Bertha, I will include some photos from the magazine itself. So hang in there with me. We're coming to a close, so we're finally out of that ugly stage, and we are now getting into more of the nuts and bolts. So the cover's just about done, final touches to that, and then we're getting into back again to some of the actual binding process. I like to do the covers at the end because I feel like that now I know the personality of the journal, and that can come through in the cover. So that's just my process. It's how I prefer to work. Alright, so what you've seen me do here is I am creating a specific color. I'm trying to match the glaze color in these beautiful ceramic buttons. These buttons were made by Tina Walker, and I purchased them from her Etsy store, and all the links to all the products I've used will be listed below. And so I was just trying to fine-tune that paint color, going into not the final layer, but one of the final layers here of this cover. As you see, I'm coming in with some of this archival ink, and this really all I wanted to do was catch some more of that texture. I felt like I'm losing some of the visual texture. You can feel it on the surface, and when you're real close to it you can see it, but I really wanted that texture to pop, so I'm just kind of going over it, kind of doing the edges, doing some shadowing, catching some of that texture from that crackle paste. And I dare to embrace it, as long as I know it's just a phase. So even though there's no crackle paste on the back cover, I wanted to mimic that color and make sure they were cohesive, so I did take that archival ink to the back cover as well. So now I'm mixing some glazing solution. So it's 50% acrylic paint and 50% glazing medium. Mixing that up, it becomes very translucent. Now typically with a glaze you can put it down and then pull it back up, let it sit for a little bit and kind of curate, and then pull up what you don't want. This time I'm actually going in with my finger and massaging it into areas and just kind of accentuating more of what I started with that acrylic ink. This enables me to kind of massage it into the areas I really wanted, whereas with the archival ink, the archival ink, I was unable, it's not liquid enough for me to massage it into areas, and I just got surface texture. So that's what I'm doing with this glaze. So I got that good and dry, and now I'm feeling pretty confident about the direction this cover is headed. So I'm going to move to the inside and start working on finishing and actually inserting the journal itself. So the first thing I'm going to do is put those cover sheets down, the two sheets I pulled and set to the side thinking I wasn't going to end up using those. I am putting those in to be the covers for the inside cover of the covers.
For something stronger, I can't stand to remember, even though I know it's just a phase. There's beauty in heartache, and I dare to embrace it, as long as I know it's just a phase. Last call, last order. Don't know why I waited for you to come over. I saw you last Monday. Thought you saw me too, across the track in the subway. Spring turns fast into fall, and I always wonder how I missed it all. I missed it all. For something stronger, I can't stand to remember, even though I know it's just a phase. There's beauty in heartache, and I dare to embrace it, as long as I know.
All right, now that that is all down and I kind of burnished it well with my thumbnail, I'm not too worried about the wrinkles, but I don't want the edge, that black Kinzio tape to show if you're looking down the bind edge from the top. So I am putting the same kind of little bumpers that I put in on the journal itself. I'm actually going to put on the covers as well, on the bound edge. So I had to take what was left from the strap and pull out the stitches and cut it down to be able to have enough of this fabric to do this with. But I felt like it was going to be important because I wanted the final look of it from the outside to be, you know, aesthetically pleasing.
And even though we were never right, I still feel delight in your name. Spring turns fast into fall, and I always wonder how I missed it all. I missed it all. For something stronger, I can't stand to remember, even though I know it's just a phase. There's beauty in heartache, and I dare to embrace it as long as I know.
Well, this is where I'm going to leave you for part 4, but in a couple weeks I will have the final binding of this journal. Thank you for coming along.